was actually developed by some criminals. They were real criminals, drug dealers. They came up with this idea. You get points by killing policemen. And then they wonder why all these, violence towards police, right? And then the police react. It's a two-way street in America. If you notice in a lot of these situations, they completely disregard the police. They don't do what they tell them. They say, get on the ground. They don't get on the ground. It's a major problem. And the police use excessive force, especially against African Americans. It's a horrific situation that we have in the United States against poor people. These police forces, and now they're giving them commando equipment. They look like they just got off the desert war, right? They have tanks in small towns in America. Shaitan gets you little by little, step by step. We used to have policemen that didn't carry guns in the United States. England used to have policemen, they didn't carry guns. They called them bobbies. You asked them a question. Right? Now they have Uzis or whatever they're using. They don't use Uzi. I don't know what their gun is, what their weapon of mass destruction of choice is in England.
I think the facts of life on earth is that there's a great deal of injustice. There always has been. I think there's a great utopian fantasy about creating a world without justice. Part of the reason why sin is in the world is that we're meant to stand up, oppose it within ourselves, and attempt to help others remove it from themselves. I think one of the things about Dr. King, and my family is heavily involved in that movement. My sister actually marched across the bridge in Selma. I marched as a 7-year-old with my mother on Selma with the Theological Union in Marin County. So one of the things that was very clear, and I've heard this from people that were actively involved in that movement, is, in fact, somebody who struggled with my mother in the civil rights said at her funeral that we were motivated by a sense of hope, a sense of righteousness and indignation about these things. But she said, but there wasn't the kind of anger that you're seeing today in a lot of people. And I think that's because of the absence of the sacred. I think that one of our prophetic traditions from the Prophet Muhammad is he said, help your brother, the oppressor, and the oppressed. And they asked him, how do we help our brother, the oppressor? In other words, because they knew his teaching, so what? Do we oppress with him? And he said, by stopping him from his oppression. And Albert Memmi wrote a very important book called The Colonizer and the Colonized, which is, he was a Jewish Tunisian who was looking at the colonization of Tunisia. And as an outsider, as a Jewish outsider within the Tunisian community, he could see this horrible cycle. And the wonderful poet Blake talks about the purple tyrants, the hand of vengeance found the purple tyrant's bed and smashes the purple tyrant's head and then becomes a tyrant in his stead. That this is the cycle of justice, the desire for justice by becoming unjust. This is something Nietzsche warned us in Fighting the Monster, don't become a monster. And this is very often what happens in these movements. I mean, one of the tragedies now of seeing a lot of reverse racism, and I'm seeing a lot of this now, just in a lot of the just from the Black Lives movement, which has emerged, which is addressing a very important issue, but when it's very tragic for me to see a society that I don't think there's any society, and I've been all over this world, I don't think there's any society that is actively trying to overcome the historical wrongs of the past like this society. And I really believe that. The anti-discrimination laws that have been enacted in this country are unprecedented, and they're imitated in other places, but many places don't have them. If you want to see real racism, and I've lived in Africa, I've lived in the Middle East, and I've been to Asia, you will find racism that has no redress to those wrongs. And I think that the fact that there were so many white people involved in the civil rights movement that were trying to overcome those wrongs. And I get and I understand the real problems that a lot of white people have about white privilege and all these things. I understand that. But we need to help people overcome within themselves, not from a place of anger, but a place centered and rooted in a spiritual desire for not only helping ourselves, but helping others overcome these tribulations. And I truly believe that it is the sacred voice that enables this. I don't think the secular voice has that capacity, because I think the secular voice too easily falls into the demands of justice and not recognizing that not only do we need social justice, we need social mercy. And I really believe we need a social mercy movement.
There's a history of righteous anger.
Remember, anger ethically should be directed to the right object in the right degree, with the right amount, at the right time, and for the right reasons. And so when you're just angry, which a lot of people are, we call it road rage where I come from. I mean, there's just people that they're pissed off, and they're walking around angry, and they're looking for anybody to explore their anger with. And that's a spiritual disease. Anger is a mortal sin, not because it's an activity of an event or two events or three events. It's a state of being, ira. It is a state of being. And when you fall into that state of being, whether it's righteous anger, because every angry person is going to justify their anger. But if you don't see it for what it is, our prophet was asked once by a man, he said, give me some advice. And he said, la taghdab, don't get angry. And he said, give me some advice. And he said, in other words, I don't want that advice. Give me some real advice. And the prophet said, la taghdab, don't get angry. And he said a third time, give me some advice. He said, don't get angry.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rico, the Opinionist. It's a little after 12 o'clock at night. I'm just kind of walking around, chilling, and get my thoughts together. And let's see if you can see me. Right here. Let's see that. Maybe it was better when I did this. Okay. All right. What's on my mind right now? If you want to check out this video, just like all of them, go to my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist, Opinionist. And on my Facebook page, Rico the Opinionist, Opinionist, Rico the Opinionist. Okay, what's been on my mind lately is in the new year, Happy New Year, by the way, everybody. Glad to have you back. But I guess this new year we all have our resolutions and all this stuff. But this year, more of the same, I guess, for me, more self-development and continue to pursue educational and professional goals this year, as well as put more videos out, try to, with the purpose of getting us to think as African Americans. And which leads me to this. This Black Lives Matter movement has been going on. And I've been in full support of it. Full support. I've even done videos on my YouTube channel to prove this. How, what is Black Lives Matter and what it's all about. Let's see. On January 6th of this month, I went to the Memphis chapter of Black Lives Matter because it was a forum that's supposed to be taking place, or a workshop that invited everyone to come out, and so they can deal with the issues of African Americans in the city of Memphis. Memphis is about 70% black. Well, hence Black Lives Matter, and there are issues going on with the cops and things of that nature. So, but in the advertisement on their page, something struck me. We're here to deal with the issues that are dealing with black and brown. And I thought, black and brown. And of course, in my mind, Black Lives Matter, the movement started because of unarmed black men being shot down by the cops. And that's what appears to be the reason why they started. And even on their website, the national website, I guess it says was started based on after the murder of Trayvon Martin. So I assumed there was a movement to address the issues of unarmed black males being shot by rogue, evil, mean, nasty cops, while the black cops sit in silence, but still want to get the credit of being called good cops. So that's another video. And so I wrote a question on their post on Facebook and asked them, why is it that whenever black organizations are created, or whenever black people are standing up for supposed to be issues dealing with black people, why do we always have to include brown? Because I have yet to see a movement involving Hispanics or Latinos or quote unquote brown people where they call for the coalition of black people. LULAC, the Latin United, that organization, LULAC, I don't even know the damn acronym. I mean, how to spell it out, but it's League of United Latin Americans, incorporated, something like that. But anyway, LULAC, their organization that represents brown people. So how come they don't ever invite black people to their strategy meetings, or when they call for justice against these United States or this government? They never call for black people. I want y'all to go and do your own research to prove me wrong. Brown people never call on black folks for assistance or to be in a coalition with them. But still, when there's an organization that is supposed to be addressing atrocities or injustices perpetrated on black people, the black leadership of this so-called black organization wants to include brown people. And they said that, well, here in Memphis, those who responded, well, here in Memphis, we're here because they're going through similar things to what we're going through, but don't they have LULAC? And why was no organization formed to address the unarmed killing of black men? So one of the respondents, two female respondents and one male, black male, and she gave me this entirely too long laundry list of what Black Lives Matter stands for. And she went through it and she submitted the national website, because and I'm going to say off the top, it is my fault that I never did the research to find out what this organization was actually about. So needless to say, I was floored when I saw what they're actually about. And let me tell you something about Black Lives Matter. It was founded by lesbian feminists, black lesbian feminists. And one lady, she referred to them in a Dr. Umar Johnson video when she was trying to address him about his issues supposedly relating to homosexuals and homosexuality. And I guess when she couldn't defeat him in his argument, she yells out, well, the founders of Black Lives Matter, they're queer. This is about a little over a month, close to a month ago when she said this in the video, when I saw the video, but it kind of went over my head. I kind of moved past it because I still believe that it was about, what's going on with black men. And so when I went through the website, Black Lives Matter movement .com/principles, but it's their whole, or blacklivesmatter.org, it tells you about what they're about. And don't y'all know that, let me see, Trayvon, it said we were founded based off the murder of Trayvon Martin, okay? But then they don't mention black men anymore. Wait a minute, I went to the part where they talked about, transgender. We want to make sure we can protect our transgender brothers. That was the only time a black male was even implied in that whole website. And then they mentioned the words global supremacy, what they're trying to fight. We're trying to fight for all black lives that are impacted by this global white supremacy system. But wait a minute. It wasn't transgender or gay black males that were being shot by the police. So how are you going to all of a sudden become this global organization based on this local event of a black man being shot down and murdered by a cop, or with Trayvon Martin, little fake ass cop, wannabe. Are y'all feeling me? And we went back and forth. And they said, well, we're for, and they want to tell me, well, we're for everybody, even black women and all this. And I'm not against that, but I didn't see black men. Let me tell you something that really threw me off. When you go to their website, you'll see all of they've named specifically what they're about. They mention black women, transgender, queer, other nationalities. But they had a circle for all of these names, but they do not have a circle for men. They refer to men as these patriarchal natural orders. I said, this sounds like a bunch of lesbian feminist bullshit. Yeah, I said it. And then I began to feel stupid. You know how in those cartoons, when Bugs Bunny has made a fool out of Elmer Fudd, and all of a sudden, his head turns into a jackass, you start hearing, hee-haw, hee-haw. I felt that damn stupid. I said, well, I'll be damned. And I do take full responsibility for not doing full research about their actual LGBT agenda. They don't give a damn about black men. Black Lives Matter used the murder of a black male so they can get their footing in this country. They're on every talk show. They're using, I guess, these terms of black lives. They want to do this, but in actuality, they're pushing a black feminist LGBT agenda off the backs of murdered black men. And I don't like that one damn bit. I don't like it. You know what? They used these, quote unquote, according to this lady, and when I found out on the Facebook page, these queer black female feminists used, it's like a Trojan horse back in those days when they were fighting. The Trojan horse was the murder of unarmed black men. They used that Trojan horse to ingratiate themselves into the emotions and the hurt of the black community. And then when they got in, they opened up the doors of the Trojan horse. It was nothing but a bunch of damn LGBT that filed out of that damn Trojan horse. Their agenda is not the progression or not the protection of black men. And you know what, black men? Damn the LGBT. 'Cause that's what they do. They use other people's platforms in order to get their own agenda out there. And it bothers me. And I felt stupid. I felt used that these women did this. Yeah, you did it. The founders, you did it. Yeah, that's exactly what you did. And also, they use global white supremacy. They use that word a lot. But didn't you know LGBT, Black Lives Matter women? Did y'all know that homosexuality and the feminization of black males, the two groups that y'all say and the subjects y'all want to protect, those are tactics used under white supremacy to attack black males? So, wow. But black men, let me tell you something. And black folks, period. When I knew something was strange months back when they stormed this stage when, what's that old guy, Bernie Sanders was speaking, and these group of women just bum rushed the stage and said, you will hear us, we will talk, and the police didn't shoot them, the police didn't handle them. But what if a bunch of black men